In my home office today. So yeah, as you can see behind me, I'm actually doing some painting. So I've started a little bit. I've been wanting to paint my home office this greenish color for a while now. It's Night Owl by Sherwin-Williams, and I think it's going to look great. So I figured I would just kind of do this a vlog style, unscripted. Talk about the real estate market in 2024 and what I think is going to happen in 24, as well as other questions that people have been asking me here the last couple of months. So stay tuned. Don't click that X button. I'll see you right on the other side. All right, guys, welcome back. I'm Matt Williams with Art Realty. I'm a local real estate agent here in the Birmingham area. So if I can help you in any way, buy or sell real estate, please contact me. My information is in the description below. Comment and anything that you want on this video as I take you through what to expect in 2024 and different questions that have been posed to me here in the last couple of months. So also, if you would do me a favor, go ahead and like and subscribe for all things real estate in the Birmingham area. I do real estate tours, Q&As, just pretty much anything about real estate. Let's talk about real estate and what to expect in 2024. So this is kind of unscripted here. This is going to be just kind of a vlog style Q&A. So really, what do I expect in 2024? Well, I think it's going to be really a lot better than 2023. So I've got high hopes for 2024. I really think it's going to be a good year in the real estate market. You know, I do predict that rates will continue to decrease over the next coming months, especially after the first half of Q2. I really think rates are going to come down. The Fed is going to cut, based on a lot of reports and articles, the Fed's going to cut the rates 4 times within the next year. Now that's consumer rates, but that doesn't always reflect mortgage rates. But I am hopeful that they will continue to decrease. And kind of my prediction is they'll, I don't think they'll get below 6% in 2024, but I think that we'll have a lot of opportunity to bring buyers back into the market, and that's going to be good for the real estate market in 2024. All right, guys, for sellers, I really think being a seller in 2024 has its advantages too, because what you're going to see is really a stabilization on home prices or an increase in home prices in certain areas of Birmingham, certain popular suburbs of Birmingham. Are just going to see a lot more increase in prices because as the demand and more buyers enter the market, that just means that the prices will increase or stay the same and bring multiple offers if there is an opportunity for that, and if the home is, like I said, in a great location and a more popular suburb. Like I said, so like I'm seeing in Mountain Brook, Vestavia, Homewood, I'm seeing still multiple offers. And just really depends on the house and a case-by-case situation. I do think that there will be a lot more inventory that'll come in 2024 from sellers. 2024, you've got a lot of baby boomers in that year. So that's going to open up a lot of homes, a lot of people looking to downsize. Another thing is I think that the number of home buyers will rise, and that'll be a benefit for sellers in the market. So you'll start to see more homes coming on the market. And so for buyers, the ease of inflation, the stabilization of rates, that's going to be a positive trend showing more buyers, coming to the market as well. And let's talk new construction. New construction is a big benefit for a lot of first-time home buyers and or somebody looking to getting into a new home. New construction contractors and builders are throwing a lot of incentives right now at buyers right now, just because, to keep up with resale and things like that, and to be competitive in that market. So there's going to be a lot of incentive for a new home. So I think there's going to be a lot of of builders throwing incentives at buyers in 2024 in hopes to either sell off current inventory and or get them in a proposed new construction home. Another thing in 2024 that I do see starting to trend or to change is going to be buyer broker commission. Now I could do a whole video on that, but I don't have all the facts on that just yet because I don't know if I want to get into it on this video, but just know the buyer broker commission will start to change, and there's going to be more of a negotiation piece during that buyer agency consultation. You're going to start seeing some changes. Do I think that'll happen in 2024? I do not, but I do think it is coming, and there'll be more coming about that later on into the year. But if you're wanting to know what I'm talking about, drop me a comment in the description below or in the comment section below, and I'm happy to jump on a calendar link with you to talk about potentially what would be coming in maybe 2025 and how the real estate National Association of Realtors and how real estate ultimately is going to change. And I actually think it's going to be better once everybody gets the knowledge around what potentially will happen. All right, guys, what is the 3 must-dos when selling your home in 2024? Number 1 is going to be pricing your home correctly. So the very first thing you should do to price your home correctly is hire a reputable, experienced real estate agent. So what do I mean by that? So would you hire someone to paint your home or paint the inside of your home that has no experience, has never painted before? Would you pay them to come in and paint your home? No, you would not do that. So hiring the right real estate agent is definitely going to be a key to pricing your home correctly. Someone that's had the experience in your local market that knows how to price your home. So to price your home, really, what we look at is, number 1, obviously the suburb or the market that you're in, or the area that you're particularly in, the popularity of that area. And then what we would do is we would take comps based on the MLS, and we would look at similar properties associated with your current home, price per square foot. We would look at other properties that have sold, how long they've sold, how long it took them to sell, how many days on market, especially in this market. That is going to be a crucial to pricing your home correctly. We're looking at condition of the home. Does the home still have its older finishes? We take that into consideration. Then also, we also take into consideration the condition of the home. What does the home look like? Is it pristine? Does it need a major deep cleaning done? What are the things? Those are the things that I'm looking for when listing a property. Also, when listing the property, we are also looking at the current market conditions of the home. Pricing a home, we're looking at what the current market we're in, especially right now. It's a different market than 2 years ago. So we're pricing our homes, or I'm consulting and helping my clients and my sellers understand why I come up with these values, and that's based on also the current market we're in. We shouldn't right now inflate numbers at all, and unless you really just are not really wanting to sell and you want to see what you want to get. But we're not really inflating any numbers when two years ago we could potentially inflate some numbers a little bit because of the amount of buyers that were in the market and the rates at the time. So now with rates up, I mean the market conditions now with more days on market, so we are actually taking that into consideration when pricing a home. Number 2 is actually, it's kind of a weird thing. It's really about your emotions, keeping your emotions in check. And what I mean by that, we get emotionally attached to our home. And when that happens is obviously we're there every day. We spend a lot of time in it, especially if you put a lot of work and effort into keeping your home up. We get emotionally attached to it. But what happens is when you get emotionally attached, that directly reflects what you think your home is worth, especially during, if you're wanting to sell it, you're talking to a local real estate agent. We really have to take our emotions out of pricing your home. Your view on what you think your home might be worth is going to be different than the fair market value probably, or a real estate agent's opinion on the property, and that is because you love it. You think you've put in the time and effort into it, but that's when during a listing appointment, I always get my clients' feedback on what they potentially think their home is worth, even if they're emotionally attached to it. I always hear out why they feel like their home might be worth that, or even if they think they know that it might be, if they feel like it's more than what I recommend. I don't discredit that. We sit there, we talk about it, we pull up other homes in the area, tons of pictures of other homes that have sold within the last 6 months or a couple of months that would in turn help me determine, hey, is why you're feeling this way. I always take into consideration my clients' feelings on what they feel like their home is worth. Although we already know and we've discussed what and how you price a home, so I'm definitely going to listen to what they have to say, take all that consideration. But we know that how to price a home is basically in how, I don't more or less sell the home. I do all the things to get the home ready to list in an extensive marketing plan to sell the home as fast as possible for my client for the most money. Yes, I do that for every listing, whether it's a $30,000 lot or a $1.5 million home, any range. I'm going to do all the same things, but we're always going to consider the three factors again, and that is comps in the area, what is sold on price per square foot based on recent sales. 2 is going to be condition of the home, and is it not updated? And 3, the current market that we're in right now. So that's always going to be the factor, and what I'm always going to lean on in order to price the home, especially if someone is emotionally attached or emotionally invested in a price, especially if it's overpriced. You do not want to overprice a home right now in this market. It is very crucial to move that home and not for that home to get stagnant. So let's get the home sold for you. Lean on your real estate agent, experienced real estate agent. Trust them as they are in the market each and every day and they know what homes are selling for. But just work together. Communication is key. And the last thing I would think is staging the home. So let's see if it can reach me. Yep. So staging your home. That is going to be a big factor on selling your home in 2024. Do I mean staging your home as in removing all of your furniture and bringing in a vendor, a staging company to come in and put all brand new furniture, new pictures on the wall, all of that, where that might be needed on a case-by-case basis on certain homes, especially if the home is empty and it's more of a luxury home, then yes. But for an everyday person currently has their existing furniture, no, we're not going to pull the furniture out of the home. Now, there are some things that you can do to change out some pieces, rearrange the furniture in a certain way to give the home more of appeal and more space. But I'm talking about staging the home with your current existing furniture. The home is staged. Like when you do see a picture, a staged home, that's what we want it to look like. So one of the biggest things that is crucial to get a home to look staged is to declutter. Declutter means get rid of pretty much, or go ahead and start boxing up tons of items that you don't really use at all. magazines on the coffee table, all the appliances that might be on the countertops that you don't really use on a regular basis. Your bedroom, start to declutter all the nightstands and the tables. Any boxes or any kind of storage that is out in the eyes of potential, a photographer comes over and takes pictures, anything that looks kind of just out of place, be as minimal as possible. That is what I'm talking about being staged. Get the home so minimal, functional and minimal as possible, because you do got to live there. You do have to show the home and live there while you're trying to sell the home. So get as minimal as possible, and that is going to improve your success and your chances of selling that home the fastest possible, or as fast as you want to sell it, and to get the top dollar. Because I'm telling you, a staged home, the photography's better, the overall experience is better when that buyer comes in for the very first time and looks and see how organized the home is. And first appeal, right when they walk in, that's first impression. That is what we're going for always when they step foot in that home. So a minimal home that looks staged is the way to go, and you'll sell your house with ease. All right, now I was going to talk a little bit about steps for a buyer, whether you're a first-time home buyer or have bought many homes from me, or you're a real estate agent. You've done that. And I actually had a call the other day that said, hey, we're thinking about selling and we want to buy in this area. What is something that I should do first? And my answer will always be, and never change, the first thing you should do is get with a local lender, a financial planner, whichever one you want to do first, to make sure it is a good time for you to sell your home, or first-time home buyer, or buy a home. The last thing that you want to do is tackle purchasing a home when you're not ready. So lean on those experts that know and that can analyze your income, your debt to income, and to see if it is actually a good time for you to buy. So for me, if you're looking for a home, and I actually don't really start the process of searching for you a home until I know that you are ready and able to purchase that home. Now I'll set you up on searches based on what you feel like in the area that you're looking for, and go ahead and be top of mind of homes that you might be interested in based on our conversation or a buyer consult. But the very first thing that I need you to do, or I want my clients to do, is go ahead and talk to a local lender. That way we can know exactly how much of a home that we can search you for or get you into, and then make sure that we have that pre-approval letter ready to go if that is something that you want to do. So the very first thing that we do is always get with a local lender. So back to the call that I had. They asked, I'm ready to do something. They asked, don't know if I'm ready to do something, but what should I do? My answer immediate was, let's get with a local lender and get them to do a financial profile. If you're not ready for your credit to be pulled, then have those conversations with your lender. But we want to make sure that we know all the figures of what it potentially looks like before you even get started. Because the last thing you want to do is get all excited about a home and then realize, oh wow, it's not a good time to buy, or I can't afford that, or it just doesn't make sense for my family's needs right now. So that's so important, and I urge you and everyone else to do that. It'll be a lot more smooth. So continuing on, so you've got your pre-approval letter, and we've done a buyer consultation. Now it's time to do the fun part, the home search. We're going to set you up on a search based on your criteria and what we've discussed already. It's going to be through emails. It's going to be whether I look every morning for you to send you some homes that have hit the market. But as soon as they hit the market, we're all going to get notifications for that home, and we're going to set up a time to get in it as fast as possible. Yes, in this market, there are a lot of times to where my home might stay on the market a little bit longer, and you might have a couple of days to get to it just based on your schedule. But for me, the quicker we can get into it, the quicker we make a decision, is that the home for you or not. So I really suggest that speed is really communicate with your agent to see how quickly you want to really access these homes. So I'm set you up on that home search. We are actively looking for a home, and say we walk into a home and that seller has done all the things that I talked about earlier, and you walk in and you say, this is the one. Well, now it's time to make an offer. All right, so we make an offer based on what we feel like the home potentially is worth. Did that listing agent do the right job of pricing that home correctly? Well, that's your real estate agent's job. Your agent's job is to know, okay, is this home overpriced? Is it underpriced? Is there other offers in play? Contacting the listing agent to find out what is attractive to the seller so that we can craft an offer based on, some of the seller's potential needs, time frame, closing dates, lease back, there's all kinds of options, but communication always is key when making that offer. And obviously, during that offer negotiation period, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, I'm going to be going over in detail that contract, those contingencies, those dates, those very important contractual terms during the home inspection period, and we'll talk about that next. The home inspection period and things like that. All right, so now you have made an offer on the property, and we beat out 5 offers, or we were the only offer. It doesn't really matter. Congratulations, we have successfully secured your home with a pre-approval letter, with an inspection contingency in there, and a closing date set. You are well on your way to being a homeowner or having a new home. So now we're in the actual inspection period. So we have set an inspection period of 7 days, 10 days, 5 days, depending on how popular that was. One day, it can be a range of things, but you just got to know that if we're making this property contingent on the inspection, then you have to be satisfied with that home inspection. What you would do is actually call an inspector. Recommendations from your real estate agent on top inspectors in your area. Recommend several to them based on, have them choose based on reviews or knowledge of that inspector. Have them do that inspection report for you. And then after it is over, get with your agent and review that inspection report from top to bottom, every line, to make sure this is a good home to purchase and there's not going to be any outside or unexpected costs that's going to cause you to not want to purchase this home. If there's something big, work with the listing agent or the sellers in order to try to come into a meeting of the minds to get this taken care of. Or if you just say, wow, this house had way too many problems. I don't want to move forward with this home. Well, you don't have to. We can mutually release this home. We've already put up good faith, earnest money to purchase this home. So we can, at that point, get out of the contract based on an unsatisfactory inspection. We have the right to do that based on our contractual offer that we initially wrote. If you are very satisfied with the inspection, there was a few items that you wanted the seller to repair or do, we would then request those at that time and have them done. We would submit over an addendum to the listing agent to ask for those repairs. At that time, we are potentially still negotiating the deal, just like during a negotiation process on price, on contractual terms, on dates and things like that. That is a negotiation period. Then also an inspection is a negotiation period that as long as we have really a good meeting of the minds between the sellers and the buyers and their agents, then most cases we get through that process. Now, one of the things about inspections that I will say that I always look for and always address, depending on the current market and if there's, everything's going to be case by case, but I always look at health and safety issues. Is this going to be safe to move forward? Is there mold? That's a health issue. Electrical in the attic or something like that, or a vent that's not from the dryer that's not pushed out above the roof. That's safety. That's safety to me, and also that's a large item. So that's something that that I'm always looking for every time I'm looking at a home, is any of these concerns that I can visibly see with a naked eye that is going to have issues, right away. So we've gotten through the initial inspection. So next is going to be, really, we're kind of in the halfway point. We're kind of really through it almost completely. And at this point, we're always going to be, as a buyer, we're always going to be in communication with our lender because they have to go through underwriting. Loan that we've already been pre-approved for. So it's very crucial to go get all documentation needed that the lender needs to close this home. Usually within 30 days. A lot of lenders can close sooner than that. A lot of experienced lenders can close pretty quickly, especially if you're doing a lot of that on the front end before you get your pre-approval. So at that time, we are in the process of setting up attorney and title, where we're going to close at. We're doing all of that on the back end side while you're finalizing your items as well. While we're finalizing that as well, we're waiting on really one more thing or two more things. We're waiting on an appraisal. Every home that you have lending or funding on, the home has to appraise for the value by a certified appraiser. They'll go by there and they'll, make sure that the home is worth what the amount of money that the bank is, or mortgage lending you. So the home does have to appraise. I'll just stop real quick and talk straight to the camera. So the home does have to appraise. This is a big deal. This actually starts well in advance of when you're listing a home. Did you price that home correctly? Will this home appraise? That is a factor that is handled right at the listing appointment. And did we use those items to price that home correctly? Price per square foot, comps that are sold in the last 6 months, condition of the home, upgrades, all of that. How many offers did the home have? There's all of those factors in determining the appraisal. So we're getting to the appraisal. We get the appraisal back and it appraised for value or more. We're good to go. We're cleared to close. We move it on to the closing table, and that's it. Everything's lined up. We had that certain date. We all get there, pop champagne. We're closed. You're new homeowners, and everybody's celebrating. What happens if that home doesn't appraise? Well, a couple of things can happen. Don't panic. That's the first thing that you do. Early on in my real estate career, home didn't appraise. A little bit of a panic would sit in because I didn't think the deal was going to go through. Well, over the years and a lot of closings, I've realized that most appraisal issues can be worked through. Obviously, the lender's not going to loan. So if it appraises for less than what the contract price is, the lender is not going to loan that extra money. Well, that just means that, okay, one, does the buyer have to bring the difference to the closing table in cash along with their down payment? Or does that mean that the seller will expect that to happen, them to bring cash, or will the seller just sell it to the buyer based on the appraisal value? Well, this is a negotiation piece, and it's case by case. For me, I'm going to request, if I'm working with my buyer, I'm going to request we buy that home at the appraised value, change the contract, and we'll move it on to the closing table. Because since that's the last step, then probably the next couple of days we'll be closing, so we would adjust it. We'll ask that we'll move forward, and we will buy the home for the appraised value. Now, if the seller says no, we're not going to do that, then he has every right to do that. Then that's the buyer's decision whether they want to move forward by bringing the cash or not, or do they want to not close on the property and potentially lose his home. So now that piece is definitely a critical moment to where major decisions potentially would happen. As long as, you know, sometimes you can split it down the middle. There's a lot of factors that can come into play at that time. But as long as everyone has a good, not trying to get each other. Yes, we understand that the contract was written. We wrote it for that. We wrote the contract for that price. I understand the seller's side of that. I also understand my buyer's side of that, to where, well, I'm not going to overpay for the home. I only want to buy it for what the value of the home is, the appraised value. So I do understand both sides. But again, communication is key at that point. We are both wanting to close. So negotiation period, again, at that moment, can go either way. But at the end of the day, I will say every single home that hasn't appraised in my career, if it did not appraise, I haven't had one deal fall through. They most time always close, and as long as you work through it, everyone will be happy at the closing table and celebrate and pop champagne and all of the above, just like before. All right, and the last question that I get often, well, not really often, but I do have friends that ask me, what's the funniest story that you've had? I bet you see a lot of things, stuff like that. But there's one incident I always come back to that I'll just tell you. So we'll just end this video on just a story that happened when I was helping one of my first-time home buyers. So obviously I'm working with a first-time home buyer, get him approved, and we're out looking for homes, and I'm supposed to meet this particular home buyer at the location or the home that he was wanting to take a look at. And he said his parents might show up, or actually the house before that, his mom showed up. I'd never, met his dad. So we are headed to, he's already there, and I'm headed to, this was in Pelham, Alabama, if you're local here. Then, so I'm literally headed to the house, and all of a sudden, I pass a police officer, and he does a U-turn in the road and gets behind me pretty quickly. Not just like a drastic chase or something, but pretty quickly he gets behind me, which I thought was very strange. I was like, well, I wasn't speeding. I wasn't texting and driving, which I'm 2024 new man, not going to be doing that. Yeah, right. So I was like, wow, I haven't done anything. I'm recalling, literally, when the cop gets directly behind you, you're like, oh crap, is my license plate? Did I renew my tag? All the things are going through my head of my past days, like, oh crap, did something happen? BC days before Christ. Did something happen? Everything's playing through my head because he really did a pretty sharp whip U-turn. So he gets behind me, and I'm like, okay, I'm going for a good 5 minutes, and he's following me. He hasn't turned on his lights yet. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm okay. I didn't do anything wrong. But then I needed to get across traffic, and I'm like, surely he'll go past me. But nope, he got right behind me. I'm looking in the rear view. He's like typing on his computer. I'm like, oh man, what's going on? And then we go across Highway 31, which is a double lane of traffic. And he beat the next car that was coming. He beat him so he can stay directly behind me. And so when he shot out there and he stayed directly behind me, I was like, oh man, he's definitely needing something. So we get kind of close into that neighborhood, and once we got into the neighborhood, I'm like, okay, he's definitely following me. Not sure why. Did my truck match the description of something that went down? I'm trying to figure out, and I'm trying to go through this story. If I'm boring you and you've dropped off, okay, but if you're still here, thank you. So I'm going through a neighborhood. This neighborhood has weaves in and out. So a couple of streets over, then turn lefts, turn rights. There's tons of, it's just the neighborhood's way back in there, and he is still behind me. He has never wavered from being a car's length from behind me. So I'm like, oh gosh, here we go. And I know my client is waiting on me. I know he's behind me. I know he's waiting on me there as soon as I pull up. So I'm gonna get pulled over right as my client. So I'm like, oh crap, that's gonna be embarrassing. So we finally get to the home. He's still behind me. I see my client and his wife standing there. Excuse me, not his wife, his mother standing there waiting. And I pull up, the cop pulls directly behind me, and I am sitting there. Oh, shoot. I'm literally sitting there like, okay, I'm gonna get out and act like I've done nothing wrong. So I get out and walk to my client, and he gets out at the same time and is directly behind me, walking up behind me. And so I really kind of just ignored him. I haven't done anything wrong. So I come up, shake my client's hand, see his mother again. And about that time, I turned around and that cop is approaching me. And my client says, hey, this is my dad, and introduces me to him. And my heart just dropped, and I was just like, are you kidding me? And the cop actually said, the police officer said, or his dad actually said, when I shot over in the lane, I knew you were shaking in your boots. And I was playing with you, typing on my computer. I wasn't typing anything. And he was just playing with me the whole time. So we looked at that house as a family and him, and got to know them really well. And now I'll always have his number in my back pocket, just in case. You just never know. So that's probably one of my favorite stories when helping a buyer client of mine. All right, that's going to wrap up this video. I really appreciate you coming and watching this video. I'm thankful that you watched. If you stayed all the way through, I did talk about the 2024 market, the do's and don'ts potentially of when selling your home, the must-dos, and also kind of walked you through a buyer's timeline, and then also kind of told a story about one time helping a buyer client. So thank you again for coming along with me today. I will show you the finished product of this office renovation that I did. I've been wanting to paint it this night owl color for quite some time now, and so it's turning out great. I like it. I'll show you the finished product when it's over, once I get my office back in order. But until next time, I'm Matt Williams, your Birmingham real estate agent here in Birmingham, Alabama. If you need me for anything, my contact is in the description below, and I hope you have a fantastic 2024. If you need me, only a phone call away. Thanks.